Kingston.
That's right, Green Square in Kingston.
And there is a revival party. People are going to go back to those halcyon days of the 80s.
Well, the Boot and Flogger started off in the early 70s, so the live music scene that was alive and flourishing and very well in Canberra began in the 70s and 80s, right through that period at the Boot and Flogger.
Of course, we're now seeing a nice revival in live music happening in Canberra. It's struggled for a few years.
Mm.
And what was the impetus for getting this thing happening?
Well, look, it all started very simply. I was having a conversation with a certain guy called Andrew Rickard on Facebook. We can almost blame Facebook for this whole thing. And we were talking on a page called Old Canberra, which has old black and white photos of Canberra. It's a lovely page. We were talking about, reminiscing a bit about the Boot and Flogger days. And I said, look, why don't I start a Facebook page about the Boot and Flogger and possibly have a revival party? To me, that was just a little idea, plant a little seed. Well, within a week there were 200 members, and now there's almost 500 members. Every day we're getting requests for new members. It's just growing. It seems to have brought all these people back out of the woodwork, musicians and patrons of the Boot and Flogger, just out of the woodwork, and it's just going to be an absolutely memorable event and a very sort of historic marker of the time that was, that's gone, recognising all the music and musicians that happened.
And of course, one of the things that I remember vaguely, because I was explaining before we came, I sort of missed out on some of this because when kids were growing up, so your social life is severely impacted.
It's a bit hard to live at the Boot and Flogger when you've got children.
But there was a very varied musical scene.
Oh, absolutely. Well, I wasn't there in the 70s. I'm a bit young for that. But as I understand it, so many bands played through the 70s, and every Sunday in Green Square there was live music sessions on the lawns, and people used to come with their kids, their dogs, and throw their frisbees around and listen to music all day. It was just fantastic. And now the Durham's present owner, Adrian Moran, has been extremely generous and supportive of this whole idea. And, he's approved use of the venue. The whole thing's going to be free. So, you really have no excuse to miss it. Put it in your calendars, put it in your diaries, and get along there, because it's going to be just a fantastic weekend. We've got non-stop bands all day Saturday and Sunday.
It's funny, one of the things I've noticed with these sort of revival things, that after about 5 minutes it stops being a just or back then. It becomes something that's living and happening.
That's right. It becomes
time,
fresh and new, as well as having
also time ceases. I mean, years that have passed cease to be years that have passed.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, it's a marking, and memories, will come up. But at the same time, it's fresh and new. There'll be different people there that weren't there, and the whole thing will be fresh and new and vibrant as well. And a lot of the bands that are reforming obviously won't be in their totally original format, but a lot of the bands are, reforming sort of, say, 50, 60, 70% as they were, but the whole vibe and feel of their music will still be there, and the energy.
Guys, one of the things where you do notice the passing of years when bands get back together again after about 30 years, their sets are shorter, but they're not having a drink break, they have to have a toilet break.
Well, that's right. Yes, some things do change, don't they?
And sort of, what about, memories in a sort of situation like this, that things you've been things that have been dormant for a while, and just something triggers a memory about something else.
Yes, that's going to bring up a lot of memories, I'm sure. So we've got webcasting possibly happening, live webcasting worldwide. Peter Summers, the legendary sound engineer that's helping out with all the sound, and he's actually flown from the Gold Coast to do this, has been looking into that. So that's yet to be confirmed. We could possibly have worldwide webcasting. I'm also meeting with the Canberra Times arts editor, so possibly they'll be running, they'll definitely, I think, be putting it in What's On, and they'll most probably be running an article, but that's yet to be confirmed. But that's very exciting. The previous owners of the Boot and Flogger, Dave Ash and Romaine Ash and their son Simon Ash, will be in attendance. So we're looking at also screening some sort of memorial tributes, YouTube-style things of musicians that have passed on that were a big part of the Boot and Flogger but can no longer be with us, to commemorate them. We've got the formidable MC Steve Kelly on board doing the MCing, and we've got Andrew Rickard, Jeffro Martin and Gordon Navarra taking care of the stage stuff. Belinda Scott has been talking about fundraising with Merrymead, so she's looking into that. So it's all go, go, go. And I could give you a little indication of the lineup. There'll be some big-name bands on Saturday afternoon kicking off from around about 4 o'clock, which is the Roger Bone Band, then the Shout Brothers, Cactus Jack, the Rugalators, Beats Working, George Washing Machine, and finishing off Saturday night with Naughty Rhythms. So that's an incredible lineup. We've got some solos and duos going on. Chris Carlson, Shadia Greentree, Dan Lids Fernandez, Russell Vincent, The Awesome, which is myself and my partner. We were asked to play by Peter Summers, and I said, look, I never played at the Boot and Flogger. And he said, well, you drank enough there to deserve a 20-minute spot, so just do it. So we'll be on Sunday for 20 minutes. Virginia Lowe, which was the great blues singer with the Ginny Lowe Band. Gordon Navarra, George Washing Machine will be making a second appearance. Chris Webb and the Sweaty Palms, Jeff Cartwright. There's still another band to fill in at 6, and then we're going to be having a nice big final jam to finish off the evening on Sunday.
And so this will actually be outside or actually...
At this stage, it looks like it'll be inside, because you never know with Canberra, hailstones and, rain and snow, and so probably inside. But obviously Green Square will be there to, for people to be able to go outside and mingle, and they'll be projecting some of the sound outside as well, so that the music can be heard inside and outside.
Wow. I think maybe some other Canberra venues could sort of start thinking retrospectively. That's
right. No, that would be great. And Adrian Moran has even suggested doing this once every year, but I think I'd really go really grey really rapidly if I had to organise this once a year. But maybe, every 2 or 3 years, if it was possible, that would be great, because it really brings people together.
Well, also, something about music, that certain music tracks have got an irrevocable link with a moment in everybody's life. Everyone has got a couple of tracks that bang, that one takes, and doesn't matter what they're doing.
Well, that's right.
They're in a different space and time.
Yeah, exactly. Now, I'd just like to draw to people's attention again, if you were to look up on Facebook, the name of the group, which has nearly 500 members now, is the Boot and Flogger Revival Party, and that is where you'd get all your old photos, all your memories, all your information about what's coming up with the event. People are welcome to post any memories, post any photos, anything they like to add to the page. And this whole event will be kicking off at 2 p.m. on Saturday the 15th of November, and that'll go through till round about 10:30, 11 at night on Saturday, and then recommencing on Sunday the 16th of November at 11 a.m. and going through till about 8 p.m.
An event like this, how do you go about fundraising?
Well, look, at this stage we haven't really had to, because all of these amazing musicians, sound engineers, technical people, MCs, everybody has been offering their time for love, not money. So at this stage we're trying to keep all that side of it out of it. And we've been able to do that so far because of people's love of the Boot and Flogger, love of music, and the generosity of people. It's been able to go ahead without any fees involved at all. So at this stage, fundraising hasn't been an issue.
Of course, that was back in the days when visiting bands couch surfing or floor surfing when they visited Canberra.
That's right. Well, that's exactly right. There are, there are a few people that would be great if they could get on board. Some maybe graphic designers to design a few posters. So, we're still looking for maybe people that could design a poster and print them out of the generosity of their hearts. But look, other than that, it's all going ahead without anything involved in terms of money or fees or fundraising.
Or maybe some entrepreneurial people might consider sort of bringing along memorabilia stores if they can get the approval.
Well, that's right.
To set up the store outside.
Yeah, that would be great.
And once again, attract more people, wouldn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
And is there a big temptation to sort of consider fashion of the period?
Oh, well, why not? Dig out your platform shoes, your caftans, your
can't do the big
headscarves, your purple suits with flary trousers. Why not? The more colourful, the better.
But the one thing there will be an embargo on is safari suits.
Oh, I don't know.
Oh.
No, I think, come as you are, as they say in the great Nirvana song.
And bring along, and also sharing memories.
That's right. I think that'll be happening for sure.
And whatever happened to so-and-so,
That's right. Yeah. So, and I think the fact that it's at the original venue, even though it's changed a bit internally and externally, it still is where the Boot and Flogger was situated. And I think that makes it very special. I mean, the big old oak tree is still there, and God, there's some stories under that oak tree.
Evidence under the oak tree probably too.
All you need is a pole for Patch to dance.
Yes, we're looking at maybe installing a pole for Patch. Now, Patch was a character that inhabited the Boot and Flogger back in the day, and he was called Patch because he wore an eye patch. Still does, in fact. He's now known more as John DeGrucci, and I've managed to find him. He's been floating around, and if he can, he'll be there. But he used to be very famous for pole dancing back in the day when pole dancing was a more innocent kind of thing. And he used to love dancing on this pole at the, up and down on this pole at the Boot and Flogger. But there's no longer a pole there. So I said to the owner, Adrian Moran, could you please install a pole for Patch? So he's looking into that. You never know.
The trouble is, if that's there permanently, get all sorts of impromptu
Well, that's
performances.
right. That's right. Leaves it open to all sorts of possibilities.
So that is Saturday and Sunday, the 15th and 16th of November, Boot and Flogger Revival at the Durham over at Kingston.
That's right.
Well, starting at 11 o'clock in the morning on Saturday.
2 p.m. on Saturday.
2 p.m.
2 p.m. on Saturday.
Through till 11ish at night time.
And Sunday from 11.
Oh, that wouldn't get too many of the patrons back then, would it? Early morning, my goodness.
That's right. The new term for hungover apparently is dusty. My son, who's 27, went out last night, and I found out that he got home at 6:30 in the morning, and he had to get up to go to work in the public service this morning, and he got up and said, I'm feeling a bit dusty. And I thought, what do you mean dusty? Have you been rolling around in the dust? He said, I mean hungover. So that's the new term for hungover. It's dusty. So we can all say that on Sunday morning. We're all feeling a bit dusty.
You've got to keep up with the language.
That's right. You've got to keep up with the language.
Look, Mili and Jim, guys, look, thank you so very much.
Thank you. It's a pleasure. Absolute pleasure.
Canberra's got an incredible music history, and I don't think we deserve a cultural cringe. No,
well, that's right. I think this is really exciting. I just can't believe how many musicians have put their heart and soul into this, and that are all getting back together, and it's just going to be epic. I keep using that word, but I can't think of another one.
Yeah, but also once you do go to groups
with their time.
Oh yes, so generous.
It's terrific.
There's going to be you mentioned one jam session. I think there might be a few more.
Well, possibly. I hope so.
We'll see what the feedback is.
There should be. There should be more jam sessions. I mean, if Adrian's not averse to it, we can keep going till 1 in the morning on Saturday and keep jamming.
Yeah,
why not?
Have to turn the volume
or else
down.
People can come on Sunday at 8 a.m. and start jamming. Why not?
Well,
a dusty jam.
Yeah, it would be very quiet, an acoustic set. Guys, look, thank you so much, and look, just keep your eye on the Canberra Times. check out the Facebook page, and also anything on. I suppose they Google or finish up on the face page.
I'd say so. If they Googled the Boot and Flogger Revival Party, it would probably direct them to the page.
You might find there's a bizarre political party.